Coastline is a map in Rainbow Six Siege released during the Year 2 Season 1 Operation Velvet Shell on February 7th, 2017. It underwent small quality of life changes during the Year 6 Season 3 Operation Crystal God. The map has the following layout, which can be seen on those blueprints, which can be downloaded in the description of the video below. Let's start off our Coastline Map guide by going through the main entrance, which is found to the east side. We can get here through the main entrance spawn for the attackers. We're coming through the main entrance into the main lobby with the reception desk. You can either call it reception or main lobby. I think everyone should understand what you mean. But this exact spot is called the reception desk. Next to the reception desk we have the toilets, which is connected to the service entrance Bombsite. And here it's on the compass it says reception, but kitchen service entrance can be also used, and it's way easier to identify. Next up we have kitchen. Then we have the cool vibes. We have the sunrise bar with the pool entrance or sunrise bar entrance. I think it's more common to use the pool entrance as more people are familiar with it. Here we have the couches of the sunrise bar. Coming back we have this hallway, which is may not be hallway. Next to it we have the blue bar. We can easily identify it due to the blue glow and the blue color everywhere. With the office next to it. And the office entrance. Next up we have the office corridor. On compass it says sunroom, but people will not know what do you mean by sunroom. It's easier to say either office hallway or the security hallway. Any of these rooms you just say hallway and it should be very easily identifiable for your teammates. Here we have the security, or you can call it CCTV as well. It has those CCTV cameras, so if you say CCTV it will also be understandable. Then in the middle of the whole map we have the courtyard, which is open to the rooftop. You gotta watch out here. A lot of people are camping over there or over there, trying to look through the windows up here and down here as well. And if you're trying to cross here, you will most likely be eliminated. Let's go up for the wide stairs, or the main stairs. Up into the 90 hallway. It's this one. It's this over here. But next we also have the luggage, due to all the bags here. Next up we have the aquarium. It's easily identifiable as well, since we have this big aquarium on the side of the room. This part is connected to the outside. Here a more specific spot, it's the Aqua Bar. And again, if you're a defender sitting here trying to defend the aqua balcony or luggage, you need to watch out for the drone hole up here, because what they can do is they can cook a grenade and, well, eliminate you. We don't want that to happen. You can either play Wamai and place your gadget here, or you can also play Jaeger and it should do the trick. It will give you at least a few seconds to get out of here. Next up we have the Billiards, which is also one of the sites. Then we have the rest of the 90 hallway, which I mentioned earlier. We have the hookah. We have like this part, which is hookah bar, and we have hookah couches over here. Then we have top cool vibes. Again, the callout is again very clear, since there is this big title which says this is cool vibes. That's why a lot of people just call it cool vibes stairs, and bottom cool vibes, top cool vibes. Next up we have the VIP. Which is connected through the Hall of Fame or guitar. A lot of guitars here, that's why some people call it guitar, but I think it will be easier for you to call it Hall of Fame. Which is also connected to the outside. You can call it tarp, the purple tarp, or just outside VIP, since, well, as you can see, there is a purple tarp up here. You can easily identify it. There's also one more tarp, which is over there, but I think they fixed. Yeah, I think they fixed it. You can no longer go there. So if you just call purple tarp or the tarp balcony, then some people should know. You can just call outside VIP for more common call out, but you can also call it the tarp balcony. Next up we have the penthouse with the bathroom. Next to the penthouse we have the theater. That concludes the trip around the coastline. Now let's move into the defensive strategies. Let's start off our defensive strategies with the defense strategy for hookah and billiards. The most common setup would be to first make a rotation here. To the top of the cool vibe stairs. Reinforce this wall over here. Then we need to reinforce this whole wall over here. I would recommend electrifying it, as it is completely seen from the outside part, from the rooftop, and if this wall gets destroyed, it will be very hard to cross between the sides, which is very crucial. That's why I would recommend either using mute jammers over here, or electrifying it with a banded arcade. Next up, we have to make a rotation on the left hand side, looking from the billiards. Then we need to reinforce one wall here. After we've done that, we can move to the VIP here and reinforce both of these walls. Then inside the VIP we can further reinforce these two walls to make it harder for the attackers to push. Alternatively, if you don't want to reinforce these two walls, I recommend doing so though. You can reinforce more walls on the hookah side, as it may or may not help you with defending this. For the defensive positions, I would suggest one person sitting on the top of cool vibe stairs, have the control over them, as well as having the control over the window, making sure nobody will jump in, as well as defending the hookah balcony entrance. That's so that they cannot just push in. Next person, in my opinion, should sit in the Aqua Bar over here, as it is very easy to hold the position here, although if you want to sit here, 1 or 2 operators must be played. Wamai or Jaeger. Why? To be fair, this is a very strong position and a very weak one as well. It is very strong as the attackers cannot take you out easily with their guns if you just play it smart. The only way they can take you out and eliminate you from the round is by either throwing a grenade from there, bouncing the grenade from here, or throwing it from the drone hole. That's why it's very weak, because you cannot escape. It's very strong because they cannot take you out and they need to eliminate you from the round if they want to progress further. But it's going to be very hard, as you can sit here with a shotgun, wait for them to push, bang, eliminated. Or wait for them to peek the door, bang, eliminated. That's why it's very strong, but again, grenades make this spot very vulnerable. That's why, if you play Jaeger or Wamai, those grenades will be stopped. If you just use one Wamai gadget over here, it will stop the grenade from the drone hole, but you will need to evacuate yourself very quickly. The second part could be also placing Wamai gadget over here on the Z spot, as it's hidden from the view of the outside balcony here.
Your location has been compromised.
As you can see, it will not be very easy to see it, and it will still catch the grenade flying towards the Aqua Bar.
You have been spotted by hostiles. Fall back.
And there is also this possibility that somebody will push from the luggage and try to throw a flash against the doorframe and try to bounce it over the counter or just use a grenade. That's why also there should be one Wamai gadget over here. There should be one Jaeger device here and another Wamai device over here. If you don't have Jaeger, if you don't have Wamai, you have to get creative. I would suggest if you only have Jaeger, you can place 2 Jaeger devices over here and hold. Or if the Jaeger is banned and you only have Wamai, well, one device up here, one device can be against the wall there. It will be very hard to take out and it will stop the grenade on the door. That's why. And it will stop the attackers from pushing. So also we can put Wamai devices over the doors, which will make it very easy to defend. That's 2 positions covered. We still need to cover 3 positions. One more person can sit here around the billiards, holding a crossfire with the person on top of the Cool Vibe stairs for the entrance. If somebody pushes in, the person from the top Cool Vibes can go on the other side of the reinforcement on the rotation, and you can pinch the persons that will try and go behind the couch. That couch, one important thing, that couch you can shoot through it, as you can see. So don't hesitate while shooting through it, as it is penetrable. Another 2 players, another 2 positions, we can have one person playing around VIP and the Hall of Fame and Penthouse to stop the push coming from this side of the map. It will be very hard to defend by yourself. That's why it's only meant to be like a waste of time. If they want to try and push while wasting their time, they can do so. The only thing they are doing, they're wasting their time and resources. So that's why I would strongly recommend either 1 or 2 people play here to try to stop the push if it happens from here. One alternative could be a person one sitting here and the other one roaming around the theater, the top main stairs / top wide stairs, however you want to call it, in luggage, so that if the person behind Aqua Bar has trouble, they can come to the right hand side of the window, punch it, and spray anybody that's on the balcony here. Okay, that concludes the first part. Now let's move on to the second bomb site. Next up we have the Penthouse and Theater bomb site, and the suggested defense strategy is the following. First, we want to reinforce the whole wall in the Penthouse, and behind them. Next up, we go into the VIP and reinforce these two walls, which leaves us with 5 reinforcements, and we can use them on the Theater bomb site. The first 2 should be used on this wall, and then we can use the rest of the reinforcements on this side of the room. I would suggest reinforcing both walls here and then one wall on the right hand side. For the rotations, we can also go through that. There are not many rotations, if any. You can make, of course, you can make one to the downstairs, like this hatch, but you have to be careful. For Amaru, there needs to be done one foothold all around along this whole wall, as it enables the teammate who will be sitting in VIP to wait for the enemies to drop from the bathroom hatch, and well, they can't escape anywhere. They will be sprayed down and eliminated very quickly if the person here is still alive. You can also make the C4 holes up here. Some people play mirror here and place a mirror window so that they can see the bathroom entrance. I would leave that to the person sitting in VIP, but if there is no other possibility, then sure, this is a somewhat okay mirror spot to try and defend the bathroom, although you have to be careful since this is a single reinforced wall. You need to place the mirror on the soft wall so that you can still peek through it and eliminate the attackers that are coming from the bathroom side. As for positions, again, this is a very uncomfortable spot to be sitting in, behind the bed here, because they can see you from the window and there is pretty much no escape. Yes, you can try and make the rotations on this wall, but to be fair, it will be very, very hard to hold for the person in VIP, since if they push VIP, if they flush him out, if they eliminate him, they have a free entrance into the site. They can completely block off the rotation between A and B by sitting on the window here, by sitting and also taking the Hall of Fame, which is supposed to be held by the person in VIP. That's why he's very important not to get eliminated, as they will just come in. If the rotation is somewhere along this wall, there will be one person sitting here, cutting off the rotation completely. One person sitting outside on the window, trying to cut off the rotation from here, holding the crossfire, as well as one person sitting here in VIP, covering the flank, and the 4th person going into the site and planting. We don't want that. That's why we can either open this hatch and try to throw the C4s from below, but a more safe pick would be to reinforce this whole wall to not make any rotations. But coming back to the positions, as I mentioned earlier, one person playing in VIP trying to hold the VIP wall, the 90 hallway entrance into the VIP, the Hall of Fame entrance, the entire Hall of Fame, it's not that much, as well as the bathroom drop. One person can be sitting here trying to defend the window, can be prone. They will be in a very bad position though. One person can sit over here on the theater, holding the VIP door. They can hold the bathroom drop. They can hold the 90 entrance here. One more person can be roaming freely between the sites, and one person roaming outside of the site, preferably either around main stairs slash wide stairs, however you want to call it, or around Penthouse as to if the attackers are trying to push, they can just quickly come and disrupt their plans, waste their time. That concludes our defense guide for this bomb site, the theater and Penthouse. Let's move on to the next one. Next up we have the kitchen and service entrance bomb site, which is located on the first floor. And the following defense strategy is: you want to first reinforce this wall between the service entrance and kitchen. Usually you don't reinforce between sites, but that one wall is pretty important, because one person will be sitting on the rotation, which we'll make here. Most likely you will have a smoke, you can also play it. Most likely you will have a smoke with a shield placed against the bomb, so that he can just peek the door, trying to defend, and from the attackers that will push from there. If the shield gets destroyed, all he needs to do is just go for the rotation back, and he can sit behind the reinforcement here, doing the same thing he did. He can do that from the start, but if he places the shield over here, it will waste their utility. And if they don't get it, because you will have Jaeger devices over here, or Wamai devices here, along this ledge, or along there, it will be very hard to deal with that shield. Next up we need to reinforce all those three walls here, as it will make it harder for the attackers trying to push from the main lobby side. Then next up we need to reinforce this whole quadruple wall in the kitchen, which leaves us with two walls that we can use, and we can use that by having someone play the showers, the toilets, sorry, by reinforcing the middle wall. So that they can try and sit behind the reinforcement here, try to defend the door, although this position is very, very risky, as you can be seen from the drone hole here, as well as the reception desk and the main lobby here. You can also have one person sitting somewhere around the blue bar and sunrise on the reinforcement, but I think it will be better use to just have that reinforcement free, or using it somewhere in the bathroom. For example, we can use it here. So that it will be very hard for the attackers to push. As for defensive positions, as I mentioned earlier, we can have one person, preferably smoke, playing over here behind the B-bomb, trying to defend the kitchen service entrance, the bathroom entrance, as well as they can rotate and head back into the kitchen and hold the kitchen window. There can be one person sitting here on the service entrance, trying to help the smoke if he needs to, or the person sitting behind there. Doesn't necessarily have to be smoke, although I very recommend that. It will be very easy to hold the kitchen service entrance with that. Also, they can hold the kitchen here, the toilets here. Next up, we have one person sitting in the kitchen. I would recommend sitting somewhere around the bomb here. Try, yeah, I think here. Yeah, here is good. In that position here, as you're covered from the left side, slightly, but you are, and you can peek in, and you're covered by the bomb, so that you can still peek the kitchen window and defend it. For the other two people, I would recommend one person sitting in the sunrise bar, either here on the couches, trying to defend the pool entrance, or they can sit behind the bar and try and do the same. One more person can be roaming either around the blue bar, office, CCTV, or even they can try and sit somewhere around second floor, because one common attack strategy, which we'll go to later, is going upstairs and completely opening everything. For example, the floor here, so that it is very hard to cross between the sides. On a hole here. That will make it hard for you to sit behind the bomb here, as you're seen from there. But we'll go to that later. That concludes the defensive strategies for this bomb site, and let's move to the last one. For the last bomb site we have the Sunrise and Blue Bar, and the suggested defensive strategy is the following. First, we want to reinforce a wall on the office here. Next up, we want to make a rotation between the sites on the left hand side, looking from the Blue Bar. It can also be on this wall here, as it still allows you to go through here, but you'll still need to watch out for the window. Although it will be slightly easier, because if the attackers open that wall over there, then this whole rotation will be messed up. Moving next, we need to reinforce those two walls over there on the pool entrance. And then we also need to reinforce this whole quadruple wall here. We can leave it open and destroy the bottom part, although I think it will be safer to just reinforce the whole wall here. Which leaves us with two reinforcements, which we can use either in the kitchen by setting up a defense for the kitchen service, although it might not work, as you have to hold a lot by yourself or in two people, and it may not work. So either you can just leave those two reinforcements for free, or reinforce more walls here, so that you were not seen from the main lobby part. Which leaves us only to discussing the positions of the players on the defensive side. First, one player I would recommend is sitting in the office. Why? One reason is security or CCTV. The second reason is this door over here. Some people can just go for... they can spawn on the
Your
ruins
location has been compromised.
and just push their way into the office, take the control over the rotation here. They can also take the control over the couches here. They can just spray for the wall or something. And they can brute their way into the Blue Bar. We don't want that to happen. That's why we should have one person, at least, sitting in here. They have to watch out for the hatch though, because sometimes they can just go upstairs and destroy the hatch and drop and just push from there. It can be hard to defend, but I think if done properly, then this is very, very important to sit here and defend. Next person can be sitting in the Blue Bar behind the counter, so that they can hide from the attackers trying to shoot them through the window over here. And they can sit here as well to defend the Cool Vibe stairs, as it is a very strong position. As you can see, it's a very tight peak into the Cool Vibe stairs. It is pretty strong, I would say. As for the next one, we can have one person sitting here on the couches in the Sunrise Bar, trying to defend and hold the crossfire for this door. As well, there can be a second person sitting here, playing with that person, sitting on the couches, holding a crossfire onto the door. If they try to cross it, peek, eliminate. Last person needs to be roaming, and it's not should be roaming, it's must be roaming, as if you don't have a roamer on this bomb site, it will be very, 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 and again, very hard to defend anything, because the most common strategy I was playing against was to take the kitchen by force and just push from here. Just push, just take it from there. They can push through this hallway here. They can push it through the kitchen. They can make their way into any of these sites with very easy, with very little effort. That's why I would recommend one-person roaming, or rather, one person roaming, because it will be very hard for the attackers to deal with it. That concludes our defensive strategies, and let's move on to the attacking strategies. Let's start off with the attacking strategies for the first floor, kitchen service entrance. The most common setup is the following, that we have one person around here, one person around the kitchen window, and then there are other two people which are on the second floor, trying to destroy the floor in this whole room over here, as well as the whole room over here. Why? As you can see on the blueprints, it's line of sight. It's a line of sight floor. That means it can be destroyed, and therefore you can see through it. If you just, so for example, take a look at this. You can see the difference here. You can see all the way. If you attack the top floor in the VIP, which is marked here, you can see into the whole kitchen site here. That's why we usually have 3 people or 2 people going upstairs through the wall into the VIP section, which is here, and one person is covering the flanks. There's a second person going into the penthouse as well. And as soon as this part of the building is clear, we can go further up to destroy, well, let's maybe mark it with a purple color, destroy the floor over here, then the next one around here, then as well here. Oops. Yep, like so. As well as here, here, and here. What these lines of sight will do is that this particular one, wait, maybe a different color, yeah, let's go with yellow. This one will allow the attackers to see all the way into the defensive position. Let's mark the defenders with the green color this time. There will be one defender here, there will be one defender here, one defender here most likely, one most likely here as well. Any other possible positions? I don't think so. So let's take those 4 hypothetical positions. One is roaming, one person is roaming. What happens? If you take a look, see? If you destroy this one, marked with the yellow arrow, if you destroy the floor there, then you will have the whole line of sight. Again, let's mark it with yellow color, into that person over here, sitting behind the bomb, which will make it easier for this person to push into the service entrance. That person that's creating pressure can go back to the person here and cover them while they're planting. So this person has to go in, that person has to come in with them and cover from possible coming backs to site from the bathroom or for possible crossovers, while the other 2 or 3 are sitting on top and covering. The first person is covering here. Wait, let's mark with green. That person here, this one, is sitting on top and covering those 2 holes here, while this person, which is sitting in VIP, can or rather has to cover those, well, this and this, those 2 holes here. Why? Because again, if we look below, you see what happens? Suddenly, this whole wall where there is a rotation, this is completely cut off. That part of the room is completely cut off. They can't come back into the site to get rid of the person planting the diffuser. That person is most likely already eliminated. That person is eliminated as well. There is no way, except from the bathroom, to come into the site. That's where the third person, if they're not sitting upstairs, and again, there can be a hole made here, another one can be made here. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but it's very helpful. If they're not sitting above and holding this one, they can go downstairs with the people that are pushing the kitchen service and just hold here, like destroy the wall here and hold the rotation through the bathroom. After the plant, you just go outside and hold the diffuser. That's pretty much it. You don't even necessarily have to do it. You don't necessarily have to go out. You can just fortify your positions either, since there's most likely like what 2 or 3 attackers left. Defenders. Then you can just sit here. You can sit here as well. You can sit in the bathroom, and you can cover the diffuser from there. For the next Bombsite, which is the blue bar and the sunrise bar Bombsite, I don't have as much experience, since it's not a very common spot to see on ranked. The most, like, you will see the kitchen, you will see the penthouse, and you will see the hookah. You won't see the blue bar sunrise as often. In 100 games that I played on Coastline, I've seen this played on ranked, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times. It's not as strong spot as the other 3. That's why it's not played as much. And therefore, I don't have that much experience. But from the casual games, which are not a good comparison, although it's still some kind of a strategy, the most common is to push through the office. Just like 2 or 3 people push in, and then there is one person outside here trying to make pressure. There's also one person sitting here watching this window. We have like 3 people pushing in through the office. One person covers this. One person helps the second. The second person is helping the third person go in, while this one is covering the door. That second person can stand here, cover the rotation, which will most likely be here, and the third person can go behind the counter here and plant. This is the most common, I think, the most effective, which can be seen on casual, but again, as I said, this is not a good comparison. casual and ranked, because those are completely two different levels. Next up, we have the attack strategy for the hookah and billiard. For this one, I would suggest pushing from two different sides. I don't know why on this blueprint, let me correct that. Why on this blueprint there is a room shown which is only on the first floor, not on second. Let's fix that really quick. Wait, do I have... I don't have a fill. Okay, let me just pick the... Okay, let's just fix that real quick. There is no room here on the second floor. I don't know why this blueprint shows, even though it's official blueprint made by the game developers themselves. So let's just fix that real quick. There is no room here. There is a balcony. Let me just quickly fix that. Okay, there is a balcony here as well. Again, don't know why it's not there on the blueprint. It's kind of interesting. Is there any other missing? Yes, there is one missing here. Okay. With those fixed, we can come back to explaining the strategies. Okay. Let's pick a different color. Light blue. Okay. For this one, I would suggest going from two different sides. First, we can get into the Aqua Bar, take control of it. We have one, like, also this is important for that part. We also have people sitting on the rooftop. Oh, see, no. You see, I'm talking about this balcony. Okay, so most of the time we have people sitting somewhere along here, this line, somewhere along here, actually more like here, and then there are, oh actually no, never mind, yeah, here, and we have people sitting along this line. Why? Because from this part, let's mark it with the red color, let's mark it with the red line, you have a full line of sight, or rather limited after the changes, into the luggage over here. You have a very limited view, but still there is some kind of a view here. Into the luggage, so that there will be one person, and there must be one person on the roof covering. Also, we can have a green, let's mark it with green, people sitting along the green line here, which are who are trying to breach this wall. Let's mark it with green. Who are trying to breach this wall, this part of the wall, and get the complete line of sight into this area over here. So coming back, we have one person on the rooftop. Oh wait, one more. Yes, and there is also one person, let's leave it with light blue mark, who have, or actually let's change the color. Let's mark it with yellow. Okay. So we have people along the yellow line here who are looking through the window here into this part of the corridor. You can see along the, if you're sitting somewhere along the yellow line, you can move and you will see as much as something like, I'll see, I think this much. You'll see this much. Sitting only along the yellow line here, you'll see this much on the second floor. That's why that one person on the rooftop is very necessary, because look how many rotations that one person can cover. They can cover the luggage rotation, they can cover if they breach. this whole rotation between the sides here. And they also can hold this yellow surface, which is top cool vibes on the door. You don't see that much. You can see, I don't know, legs, but it's still something. Then you can see the whole people crossing in here in the 90 hallway, and you can see the entrance, some part of the entrance into the VIP. You can see as much as you can see as much as I have drawn here. That person is very important for that. As soon as we gain control over that, we can try and go into the Aqua and get control over that, as well as one person sitting around somewhere. Let's see here on the balcony, trying to put pressure on people that are sitting on top cool vibes or inside the hookah. But we have those three or two people. Can be done with two. Three is a little extra in my opinion. But let's say we have 3 people pushing in here. One person will be planting one right here. But if they have a Valk cam or if they have a pulse, never ever plant there. Go on the table. I know it's risky and counterintuitive to go on the table and plant where everybody can see you instead of going for this spot marked with the red color over here. I know it's counterintuitive, but they can see for you from below, and that's not a good thing. So those 3 people here, there's one person. Let's break it down. One person sits here in Aqua and holds the luggage. Then the second person goes in and plants, while the third person covers here and here. Remember, we still have that person on the rooftop, so they can say when they see something crossing over here or here, they can tell them when somebody's coming. But also, we have that one person coming from here, from the balcony, who can put pressure by going in and trying to disrupt the defender sitting here. Let's mark them with a different color. Maybe let's go for purple. Sitting here on top, cool vibes. They can also be sitting somewhere along the couches here. They can sit behind the bar here on the hookah. There can also be a person sitting here, so you gotta watch out for that. And most likely there will be a person sitting behind the Aqua Bar. But if you do that correctly, you can plant on the table if that's necessary. Otherwise, just plant behind the bomb in that spot over here, because it's just way safer. You are not as much seen, and the person covering you doesn't have to cover it that much. They only need to cover the rotation here. That's why it's better to plant behind the bomb on the corner here. But if they have a pulse, then you need to plant on the table, otherwise he will just C4 you or shotgun you from below. For the last spot, which is the Penthouse and Theater, which is here, we'll also need to use the, you guessed it, rooftop. Again, we'll use the same lines which I drawn earlier for the person that is covering, but more common would be in this situation, since we're attacking the Penthouse, will be this green line here. Why? Because from that green line you can see both. If you're just moving along that green line, you can see, let's mark it, you can see here and here. You can see this whole line of sight. Wait, let me change the size of that. Okay. Because you'll see people coming back into sight from here, coming back to sight from here. So you're just cutting off rotation from this whole part of the building, through the second floor at least. Next up, we also need some people. One person can destroy the hatch, usually it's Sledge, gets the hatch done, they can sit on it and wait. Then we can have 2 people pushing the VIP wall, try to get in. If they're successful, they can take control over the VIP with the help of the person here that is covering the the flanks, because let's say a defender comes here for the cool vibe stairs, wants to go into the VIP. That person, if they don't eliminate that defender, they can still warn his teammates so that they know somebody's coming. Oh, somebody's coming from top cool vibes, or oops, somebody's coming from luggage, and that they will know about it and they'll be ready. Worst case scenario, one attacker gets taken off. If everything is played correctly, then that's the worst case scenario. After the VIP is taken, we can push up through the guitar or Hall of Fame and help that person who's sitting on the hatch just drop. And if you hard breach that wall, you'll flush out any defenders. They'll have to run. That doesn't matter. Like, they will have to run. If they stay, they either have big balls or they're stupid. Because they will be pinned in the corner. You don't want that. Never. That's why it's very important to keep that wall electrified, so it's not that easy for the attackers to get rid of it. Because then what happens is that person can just those two people that are in the Hall of Fame and bathroom, they can just cover this crossfire. That person which was sitting on the roof in that time should go down and through the breach into the VIP, covering this flank, while the person here is planting. That will make sure that you plant, and how you can hold that. You can either have, let's get rid of all that to make some room. Okay, let's mark our plant with the light blue color, and let's mark our attackers with, let's go for brown color. Okay, so how you can hold the diffuser after it's planted here. You can also plant the diffuser if there is no way of breaching that wall, but if you still manage to take out the defender over here, one more spot is here, under the window. Let's first discuss. Actually, it's pretty similar. Yeah, let's discuss the bed plant first. You can have one person in VVIP, holding from the breach, or sitting outside here, sitting behind the bookshelves here, sitting in the corner here, defending the diffuser here. One person here in the Hall of Fame, just sitting on the door, covering the door. Yeah, I know this sounded badly, but okay, like covering this whole rotation here. There can be one person sitting in the bathroom, doing the same thing as the Hall of Fame person, and then we can also have one person outside, rappelled on the window. It's pretty similar if you go for the window plant, because then what happens? Let's mark it with a different color because this one is pretty bad. What happens? We have one person sitting here, we have one person rappelled on the window. We can also have one person in the bathroom and one person in the VIP, or one more person here in the Hall of Fame, covering the VIP flank, while this one covers the rotation with this person holding the crossfire, and the fourth person is sitting rappelled on the double window. But what that person also needs to remember when covering both of these flanks is that there is a service entrance door right here, through which the defenders can run out and eliminate the person rappelled on the double window. So that person on the double window is rappelled upside down so that they can see the service entrance door, and when they hear that somebody's trying to defuse the diffuser, if they're the last person, then he can just move over and eliminate the person who's trying to defuse. That concludes all of our strategy guides and the map guide of Coastline. Remember every time to drone, and most importantly, have fun. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next guide.